Say hi. Hi. Okay, it's our Analects class again, and I'm Vivian. Yeah, welcome to the class today. And we have a few new friends also joining us. Yeah, a little recap is that we are using a framework. Maybe you can share if you want to take a look. So this is our second class. So last time we gave the introduction about like the relation of Confucianism and Buddhism. Let's see if you have any questions around that humanistic Buddhism. And yeah, so we are following a framework called the holistic mind leadership. Like it is to understand, like through the Analects, there are some concepts that we can apply in our daily lives, like to establish different kinds of mindsets. So framework is a kind of a powerful tool here in ULA that teachers can adapt. So in Chinese, we have this kind of framework that looks like this. So yeah, all the contents would be crafted by teacher Tang, and then the framework is for us to have a systematic perspective to understand the content in underneath. So yeah, in if you got the English version, you will see there are three frameworks. So the first one is about the various mindsets, like all the conditions that require to establish a good mindset. And then in framework B, it will be linking with some major mindsets that we might heard about nowadays, like from psychology or from history, how like different thinking could be also related. And in framework C, we will conclude how should one, cultivate and how should we adapt these yeah, in general. So okay. Last time we went through the first one, which is the balance of learning and thinking. And so today we will talk about the second one. So it's called establish oneself through learning. And the Analects piece is here. So yeah, if you is this one with pinging? Maybe not. But like chance Chinese, so perhaps we can do like to repeat this verse together in Chinese for two times. Okay, so 子曰：君子食无求饱，居无求安，敏于事而慎于言，就有道而正焉，可谓好学也已。子曰：君子食无求饱，居无求安，敏于事而慎于言，就有道而正焉，可谓好学也已。Okay, so when we just begin, like Louis joke gave a joke of like we're all eating, but while we are also studying this one. Yeah, because it seems like when we see on the first sentence, like, okay, you're asking me not to, eat full, like you don't feel full while you eat. It seems like you have to stay in hunger all the time. Yeah, it seems like that. So maybe we can look at it. So the first one would be 君子. Chance, do you know what 君子 means? From my understanding. Hmm.
I don't know if I do. I know James, but it's a different James.
Yeah. Okay. 君子 is more like gentleman in terms of English, but not totally because gentleman means someone who is nice, kind, or open the door for a lady that we call gentleman. But in Chinese, 君子 it means few aspects. Like the first one would be they have high moral standards. Like they have a very self-discipline and virtuous, and they, do care a lot about how they present themselves. And then, like the second aspect would be they have a position or they have responsibility. So they are standing in a point like they're not just someone who is nobody, but they do have the power or the chance to decide on something. Yeah. So it's not a weak person. Yeah.
Influence.
Yeah.
Influence socially.
Yes. Yeah. Influence, maybe. Yeah, not like just a YouTube influencer. Yeah, but they do have like responsibility, and they have some resources that they can allocate. So it's just not the kind person like you will bump into on the street. So okay, like this type of gentleman, or a cultivated virtuous person should not feel full when they eat, and should not stay well in their living. How does that sound to you?
Like too comfortable in your living environment or your space.
But that seems like a bit weird. Like, why should not one feel comfortable? It means like they need to be living like a beggar or something,
Maybe it's not supposed to be like the main thing, is it like food or your house? It's about to be sustenance, or like just a place where you can be. And it's not like the best or the most beautiful house or the most interesting food, because then it's distracting what it's really about.
Okay. So Laura was saying that maybe it's not the major part that they are expecting, not like forbidden them to do, but it's not the major core value that they're looking for. Yeah. So and here we should, like, the interpretation would be, we do not deny that of the food that you get, or the living place that you have, but the major ambition of this noble person is not about delicious food, or about a comfortable dwelling. Like, even they need to stay in an uncomfortable place, or
If I can add, for me, I think from uncomfort you can have growth, because if you get too comfortable, then how do you evolve, like, as a human being? And yeah, for me, I think that putting yourself in uncomfortable situation can equal growth as a person. Maybe
Yeah, Camille was saying that staying in an uncomfortable spot could help someone to grow. Yeah, but then it also requires a balance, I think, for most people. Like, most people could stay a little bit uncomfortable, but if the uncomfortable is getting too much, I think not many people can stand for that. Or eventually they will have different thinking, like their minds would change after. Yeah, so in here it mainly talk about their lives is not to achieve good food or good living, and the ambitions is not to seek their own pleasure. Yeah, so this is the first sentence. So yeah, stay a little bit uncomfortable, like help to cultivate themselves. And okay, then then this is the first part. And then the second part would be 美于事而胜于言. So Chance, what do you think?
So like sensitive in your your doings, the things you're doing, maybe, or like maybe that could also be translated as having compassion or just being aware of your deeds. And then following that would be also extending to your words, saying like words that are truthful or also compassionate or right.
Right. Yeah. So this means like sensitive. Okay, it's sensitive or like you react fast. React fast towards things. Yeah. So when things come up, you are rather sensitive or mindful, and then you can react rapidly towards it. And then 慎于言, this 慎 means 谨慎, which is like careful. Careful in terms of words. So when I do things, I do it rapidly and I'm not so sensitive. So this includes like being, observative, like be alert to things and careful in what they speak. Yeah. Like in terms of karma, like this words is rather an important one because in karma we do have three aspects, right? Like our body, and then our words, and then our intention. So, Honorable Vivian, do you want to add on? No? Yeah. So I don't know if you have heard of karma, and then these three aspects. So why do words matter the most if like among the three? So body includes like all the actions. Whatever I do, I count it as body. Words means things I say. Intention will be something in my mind. But why words matter the most?
You mean words in the context of this sentence, right? Not in general.
In general.
In general.
In general. Or how does that matter?
When I look at words, I mean, I think words are not the heaviest kind of karma. We can make body karma is probably much heavier in terms that we can, kill someone or steal something or, we physically impact. Words, on the other hand, are something we do constantly. So, they seem meaningless or harmless or inconsequential, but we can give various commands. We are constantly speaking. It's very easy, if we are exaggerating a lot or lying a lot or not being truthful, we can cause so many other problems and affect people. And then also, if you're teaching, right, and you're teaching with wrong intentions or maybe sincerely but ignorantly, you kind of pass that on, right? So you can affect people's minds through words.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, I think words could be, like teacher once shared a story about Sun Yat-sen. Like he is the father of China. Father of 国父孙中山是 father of China.
Republic of China.
Republic of China. Yeah, Republic of China. And what he is the most powerful is like how he could share speech. Because he wasn't like a soldier or sent to the front line in war, but he go to give talks around and inspire to donate money or support us, and then or trigger people to be connected together and stay together. So that is all through his words. So words could be rather powerful sometimes. I mean, body, we could kill someone. Of course, that is also a very serious kind of karma. But words could also be very effective, and it's something when you say it out loud, you can't really recall. So that's why the cultivated person, they are very cautious about what they speak, because they know in Chinese there's a saying called once the words go out, even the horse can't chase it back. Yeah, because it's already gone. And also, like, for people, imagine like they have this power or responsibility, and if they say something, they have to fulfill it. And once they speak it out loud, and if they can't fulfill, that will be harmful to either themselves or to their position or to the others. So they have to be very careful. Yeah, this is like why they are careful about their speech, and then also be sensitive to do things.
美于是敏感的意思嘛，就是他那个，就是有做的很有学习的，或者是做的很敏锐，就是做的很有快速，也有那种体悟力很强，都有在里面。哦，所以他说 sensitive 那种体悟力应该是，就是对领悟力。
Yeah, Teacher Wayne was saying the means 领悟力 means your understanding, and you do things sharp, like you do right to the point.
但是体悟力是可以，这个 smart 他 smart，可是 sensitive 也是蛮棒的，就是他那种敏锐有没有？他能看到那个窍，看到说办事的那个，那还有他的那个速度也是在
速度，
Yeah, very fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they get they get to know the main part. Because I heard a saying when I was at work that the seniors will comment on the juniors, saying that they work really hard, but they don't know how to work on things. The senior only get experience to, when things come, they know, okay, I will plan to do this and this first, and then next I will do the others. Yeah, but juniors will always say, okay, I will do this A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like they don't really know the pace and the core thing. So yeah, although there's just 3 words, but actually that includes lots of things that they need to be capable. Yeah, they have to observe, they have to be, experienced, they have to go through many things before, and then they learn and pick up. Okay. Then the third line would be 就有道而正焉. I think this is rather difficult for me in the beginning, because what does it mean? 就有道而正焉. Yeah, so 就有道而正焉 actually means when you have question, you can reach out to those who reach out to the correct person, or the person that could explain or solve the issue for you. Yeah, like reaching out to the correct people and ask appropriate questions. An example would be maybe like a teacher, like he wants to learn bodhicitta, and he traveled all the way from India to Sumatra to look for Dharma tea. Darakiti, yeah, like although Darakiti has different Buddhism schools with a teacher, but because of bodhicitta, he could all the way travel from India and there and to look for this teacher and learn him because he know like only this teacher can be able to teach him bodhicitta. Yeah, other teachers or other people that he met could not. So this is an example of finding the correct person to reach out to the right people.
That means that it's really important to have some knowledge about how people are. Like you really have to make the right decision.
Right.
Yeah.
That is like you need to have a good, but sometimes it's like a circle, like you need to learn from someone, a good teacher first, then you know who to differentiate, but you also need to differentiate in order to look for a good teacher. So I think that is like the question of egg first or chicken first.
You start.
Yeah. But like this verse here mainly is talk about how should. So, Hans, what do you think how should means to you?
Oh, sure. Directly, I would think that it is like the correct way to learn, or something is easy to learn, or like you will have an easier time learning it under whatever previous conditions.
Yeah. A slight difference would be like how means like, right? Like, and this means learn. So someone who is very eager to learn, it doesn't really matters if it's easy or difficult, but someone who is passionate about gaining some knowledge and they really want to learn, eager to learn, like that is 好学. So the above is like all of them are the description of someone who enjoys learning. Yeah. So imagine like someone who really enjoys learning and they want to become virtuous and become, like someone who can influence others. Their ambitions is not to have good food or materialistic life or self-pleasure, and then they also practice to deal with things. They try to build up their sensitivity, react fast, and then they're also careful about their speech. And then they look for the right person when they face challenges or on the way that they are learning. They would look for people to solve problems for them. So this is all of about talking about how one really enjoys learning would do. Yeah. So yeah, when I first learned about this one, I felt like, oh, it's the bar is really quite high in order to really enjoy learning. Like nowadays, a lot of people we could learn different stuffs and then go on to YouTube or check online, ask ChatGPT, and then we can do that. But hidden side, I think I will still I couldn't really achieve everything above. Yeah. So yeah, I think this one mainly inspires us that this is the bar that you can set for yourself when you want to achieve something or you're ambitious. Is the way. This is something we can try to bear in mind in our daily lives. Yeah. And also someone who is like virtuous or wants to cultivate. In Chinese we call to become someone's 贵人. I don't know, Chance, if you know this word.
I'm not like an owner, but something. Well, I'm not quite sure.
It's okay.
Wait.
Okay. Because if we just break down this word, this means expensive.
Right.
Yeah, when we buy stuff, we say 贵 is expensive. So someone who is expensive, which means like you are a key person to someone's life.
Benefactor.
Yeah,
Benefactor.
benefactor. You are a
Benefactor,
benefactor in some
Whether
way.
financially or intellectually. Right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that person has to admit you are that
Yeah.
benefactor.
Yeah.
You don't call yourself
Yeah.
benefactor. I am a benefactor. Welcome today. No, you enter someone's life and you help someone, and someone really got better because of you. Then they will think you are a 贵人 and you are a benefactor. So I think that's also an aspect for us to learn how to become a 君子, like a virtuous person, because the ambition is to help others, the ambition is to use their way to learn and then to do things and to say words and then to make this influence around and become someone's benefactor. So I think this is this is the bar of people that they would love to learn, pick up. And like the Analects actually talked a lot about how to train up one's ability. You don't stay weak, and just to be a kind person. Like you have to be aware of what ability you have. Because if someone is sad and you just cry with them, you can't become someone's benefactor. Yeah. Or, we study about karma and feel like, okay, the world is full of karma. We are all full of karma. What should we do? And then we just sit there and then, meditate. We won't solve the problem. So we need to train up one's ability, and how to train it is how we can see this. See, you have any questions?
When we talk about learning in an intellectual way, or in what ways? Because I think for me, learning, you can learn like physical abilities, you can learn artistic skills. Does it apply to everything, or is it more like brainy knowledge when you say?
I think, well, it didn't really mention in this context here, so I would think it's anything like you can learn, because whatever you learn could become a resource that or a skill that you could adapt or apply. Because in another Analects, not this verse, another verse, there's a verse saying that if your ambitions is to become a benefactor or to train up yourself, whatever art or music or things that you learn could become something you apply in your daily lives. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter if it's just purely theory knowledge or a skill.
Does it also mean, just looking at this sentence, I haven't read the Analects, but you were saying before, for someone that wants to become the junzi, like a noble person, right? So a virtuous person that's skillful and influential, they have to have this kind of, if they want to learn how to be that kind of person, not if they want to learn how to be something else. Right, like you were saying about like, oh, it does apply to any kind of skill learning or intellectual learning. But it seems like here it's about learning how to be a virtuous person in general, rather than like a specific field.
Yeah, that's also a way to interpret this verse. Yeah, as in your 榜样 calls what? 榜样 role model.
Yeah,
Your role model is a 君子, so your bar is like become a 君子. That's also the direction for you to learn.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that's interpretation as well. Like I don't know, like for you, which one you think is the most difficult to achieve? If we break down into
Oh, those three
three,
parts,
yeah,
right? Being the kind of sensitive to situations and reaction, being careful with speech, and being
well, what if we break down?
not chasing after worldly kind of satisfaction.
Yeah, I mean, first one would be food and living, and then
Well,
the second would be deal with things. Deal and and words. And then the third one would be find someone,
finding, all right,
find a teacher,
finding the teacher.
like the correct person.
I think some of these deal with your environment too. Like if you grow up in an environment where everyone is telling you, good food and good living is the goal, you're going to be more oriented towards that, right? And if you're in an environment where everyone's using words to kind of cut one another and get ahead, you might not value honesty and carefulness with your speech so much. So yeah, I mean, I think it depends on like self-reflection, right? Like what your strengths are. Yeah, like for me, I think finding a teacher, finding the correct person is the most difficult. Because I think with food and living, we can quickly see whether or not those are truly satisfying, right? And how they come and go and aren't reliable. So I feel like that's easy to get over. Dealing with words, again, I think that's something you can practice on your own or with other people, right? Just through, if you're just conscious that words have impact. But finding the teacher or the correct person is hard to know. Because someone might present very well and speak very well, be very famous, but actually the information they're giving you is not leading you anywhere, right? Or their intentions are wrong.
Yeah.
So how do we know, what do we look for in finding the correct teacher? And I think that links back to like the stages of the path kind of things too, is like you have to have a certain fortune or blessing to meet a teacher. And how does one acquire that? At least my own teacher would say, well, you have to go to many teachers and ask many questions. And then based on their answers, you can start developing an understanding, the ones that are able to resolve your doubts and your conflicts and kind of guide you to more clarity or wisdom or inspire virtue in you are the people you should follow. But like chicken and egg, right? So it's like you get a little better and then you're like, oh, now my mind's more clear and then I can also, learn from others.
Yeah,
So,
true.
Yeah, I mean, I would say number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have a correct answer for this. It's just exchange ideas. So what do you think?
Which one is the
Most
most
difficult?
difficult? Yeah. I would also say 3, I guess, because this would in the end also help you with 1 and 2, right? So it's also the most important.
Yeah.
And also very difficult, I think. Yeah. Especially for a lot of people who don't like have access to maybe internet or cannot travel or have only like a few people that they know in their vicinity, and you never know if that would be somebody who is suitable for that.
Yeah. Like when I heard about the story of Atisha, I was like, he doesn't have the internet, and how does he know? Like that teacher would know like how to teach him bodhicitta, and he just travel and
It's a big gamble.
Your life. Yeah. So yeah, it's rather interesting. Yes. Yeah, okay. So we're okay then. This is this verse.
Which one's most difficult?
I think third is difficult.
Third is difficult.
爸就是唐老师的。为什么？
那日子就是
最普通的难度，
外人在外面，
不是问说对你来说，你发现
没有，
啥？
我把它自发，我会把它当成自发。
那个
咱们
Kasih aku dalam last sentence is
Okay, all right. Um. Oh, maybe before we move on to the third verse, we can like talk about like the second verse. How does it relate to, the framework? So in the framework, it's called like establish oneself through learning. So I think we've gone through the second one, which is, someone who is eager to learn. So one is eager to establish oneself. And the way to learn is to, set a role model or bar and look for a correct teacher in order to achieve it. So it was the second one after, the balance of learning and thinking that we talk about in the first class. So eager to learn is very important. And then when you have to decide, want to establish yourself, then you can be able to achieve what the verse taught us. Okay, then it's the third one, and the third one is called choose the virtuous ones and follow them. So I think it's a little bit like the extension of what we were talking about, because looking for the correct person or the teacher is rather difficult. So in here we have a 3 verse in total that we will talk about, like how to choose the virtuous one and follow them. So the first one is in here. So perhaps we can recite together for 2 times. 子曰：见贤思齐焉，见不贤而内自省也。子曰：见贤思齐焉，见不贤而内自省也。Okay, so in the last verse, we talk about 君子, and in here we talk about 贤. So an easy way to understand 贤 would be 贤 is someone who is noble, but he might not be, have influence position yet. Yeah, just a noble person in general. Yeah, or someone who is kind of better than you, like you can regard as someone who is noble. Okay, so like Confucius said, when I see a noble person, I will think to become together with this person. So 思 means think. Or last time we talked about like it's like cultivating on your mind, that is 思. So 齐 means no 整齐, like
match，
yeah, match, like matching. It's called 齐. Or the hair you cut it like this is called 齐. Okay, so when I see a noble person, I want to become like matching with him or her. And then 不贤 would be, the opposite, like not noble. And I will 内, it's in inner, like so internally, I will reflect on myself. Okay, so it's rather straightforward. So yeah, for noble person, of course, there are some qualities that one has to fulfill, like how he or she has the perspective to view different things, or intention and also actions are also aligned. Like they could hit their own standard, but they also be able to achieve, do large or small things. Okay, and become equal, like think or matching with this person, becoming equal with this person. It's like you don't just see someone barely and it's like, I want to become the same like you, because you have to be really deep down, like observing that person, or you really understand person. You won't go on the street and someone just walking you by and you feel like, oh, I want to be the same as like that person, because you don't know what he or she has done. Yeah. So you need to have at least some standards of understanding that person, and then you want to match with them. Yeah. So the way in matching, what do you think we can match someone then? What actions we can do? Or in your life, when you find someone that you really want to become like them, what would you do?
Well, I think you would start doing things the same way, like this person is doing that.
Yeah, or spend more time with that person, or try to stick around, and
Help them, ask questions.
yeah.
Get involved in whatever they're doing, whatever their projects are that find good.
Yeah. And a higher level would be not just helping on the good deeds, but if this noble person face challenges, or face someone blame them, and you feel like it's not a good feedback to that person, you also stand in with that noble person, like to stand in the insults that they face, like together as a team.
Oh, everyone's criticizing me, so I'm gonna back away now.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. You want to stay together because you see the good values in them. You understand the person, and you stand together. Okay, and so on the like opposites, or on when we see someone that is good, sometimes we might not just jump in and want to become together with them. Sometimes we do have jealousy, or we wish that they were not that good. Yeah. Or like we might be envy, etc. So this is like the first sentence would be telling the qualities of how we can match with someone that is really noble. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In Chinese, there's also another saying that is 近朱者赤，近墨者黑. So it means when I'm close to a orange red color, I will become red as well. And if I'm close to ink, I will become black as well. So that's an old Asian saying, a slang. It talks about how environment matters to you. When you're close to someone that is red, you become red as well. Yeah. And someone black, you become black as well. And a famous story that we heard since our childhood would be 孟母三迁, which is the mother of Mengzi. Like they moved 3 times because the first time they lived near the grave. So this kid is trying to practice all the ceremonies to worship the people who died, or to all the Tao traditions. Then this mother was like, no, I don't want my son to become like this. And so then they moved to another place, but the second place they stay was near a slaughterhouse. So this kid is trying to learn how to kill, or play with knife. And this one was like, no, I shouldn't. And so the last time they moved to near school or library, and this kid finally becomes, starting to read books. So yeah, that's also like we heard since our childhood like about how like the place you stay or the environment matters to you. Yeah, because gradually you will be influenced as well. Okay, so all right, then how about if we meet someone that is not that good? For me, I would just walk away or ignore that person. But that's not just the quality that it mentioned here. Yeah, it asks you to reflect on yourself.
It doesn't say you can't walk away.
Yeah, you
So
do.
you can walk away, but should reflect on yourself as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Like on one side you walk away or you stay far from this person, but on another side you treat them as a mirror, like the bad qualities in them, you're able to see it, and you also to think, oh, if I, like do that too, that I will hurt people. Yeah, so it's treating them as a mirror.
But can I,
sorry. Yeah.
can I reflect on myself, but also punch him in the face?
I'm not sure if Confucius teach that.
It's not a martial arts class.
Well, if you punch them, then you do the body cover. You can still punch them, but I think you will get some effects back then.
But my point is, should I or should a virtual person 君子 reflect on those unvirtuous person, but also try to stop them or try to correct them?
I think that's a core part. That's why Confucius is teaching a lot about training your ability. And your ability is not limited to just punching a person. Because those who are not a scholar or who didn't study, they could do that. That's a very instinctly reaction. Yeah, like a farmer could do that as well.
How about try to teach them? Should a virtuous person try to teach or correct unvirtuous people, or just watch and reflect and then walk away? Which one should be a virtuous person, a 君子 should do?
I think in another verse, like Confucius did mention, you can correct that person, but there are some qualities you need also, or some conditions you need. If you see someone that's not behaving well, except you reflect on yourself, you can also correct that person, but bear in mind, if that person is able to be corrected by you, do you have the ability, or in his mind or her mind, if you are like able to be corrected.
I think too, there's like, well, I'm gonna connect. Lotus Sutra, for example, there's this instruction on how to have like harmony, like it's peaceful practice chapter. And there's a whole list of people that you should kind of, in situations, you should avoid. All right, and it's like just avoid these because they're gonna have that kind of disturbing effect. But if these people come wishing to learn, you should teach them. So it's like a not seeking out situations where you would, question, oh, should I punch this person or should I teach this person, right? But if such a person comes to you wishing to learn, then you can help them. But if they don't have that wish, then you can't do anything, right? Even if you get into a fight, sometimes if you're skillful, you could change it and become friends with the person, right? So like you're saying, just having the immediate reaction to punch is just like very. If that's your only choice, then you really aren't skillful. You're just kind of locked into a pattern.
But my question is, should we try to help them
it depends if you can, right? And if they want to be helped, or if it's possible, give the skill.
But
That's my takeaway.
how can we know when we haven't done that yet?
Mhm.
We only follow the principles of a virtuous person,
Yeah.
like we are not skillful enough. We don't have the high wisdom enough to analyze is this a a how to call that high succeed rate or low succeed rate. Yeah, but I was asking what kind of principles should we follow as a virtuous person? Should we follow the principle that we should help them, or should we follow the principle that we should watch first, and then probably the priority is not to help, is to protect ourselves, protect the harmony.
I think that's why you need to be 敏于事, like be sensitive to things, because there isn't a standard that you must do that or you mustn't, because different person will have different, different timing, different person, different conditions will be different. So we need to have wisdom, I think, in order to face that.
If you say like, well, okay, every person that comes to me that wants to start a fight, I should help them, right? Like, you're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah,
Sometimes you shouldn't, because you can't, and you might make it worse. And sometimes you can try and fail and learn something, or try and maybe improve the situation. So I think it really depends. Yeah.
But just like in Taiwan, like that's also a cultural side that good know that people change their character when they drive. Like Taiwanese people are really nice and friendly and helpful, but when they get on the car, they become a different person. And there are sometimes like news showing that people will get racket
Baseball bat.
yeah, baseball bat. They will just take it out and you want to hit you if they, get into a traffic jam or something into you. And if you see that and you still want to correct that person, then you're going to be in trouble. Of course, you need to run because they are taking out, like this is not like we don't act dumb to be a virtuous person. If we need to fight back, we need to. Or when we run, it doesn't mean we are weak. Virtuous person shouldn't be weak. We should stand strong.
If you know you're stronger than the person with a baseball bat, maybe you can stop them.
Yeah. Or your words doesn't really matter that much anymore because they are taking out a weapon. So I felt like
You could also look the other way, because you could also be the person with the baseball bat and think that the other person was actually doing something wrong or had a bad quality, but by like acting like that and thinking that you are actually the person who has maybe the bad quality, and that's maybe also what it means, like that in that way. If you see if you think somebody has like bad qualities, maybe it says something about you and not really about that other person. Maybe sometimes you hear people say about somebody else, oh, this person is so good, he does everything perfect, and he's phony and he's fake. But it maybe says something about the person who criticizes it, because he lacks the qualities, and he just thinks that everybody lacks the qualities, and that it's not possible to really have them.
Yeah.
So then it would also be dangerous to correct the other person, because you're the one maybe who needs to be corrected. Yeah.
I felt like so. Huh? 1 minute. Oh, okay. Yeah, but that's really interesting discussion. There are different verse that really mention about you can correct that person, but the timing and also the number of times that you can give feedback isn't unlimited. maybe you can try 2 or 3 times, but you have to stop after that, because the more you try to, you will affect the relationship, or it will become an insult somehow. So yeah.
That's with monastics. Like there's certain things that you admonish the person. You're like, you shouldn't be doing this. This doesn't sound right. This isn't really like what you should be doing. Venerable. And then you like bring some other monks, and like both of you are like, hey, and you have up to 3 times, and then after that, it's done. You don't pursue the situation anymore because they're not being receptive. Like you've already given many chances. Yeah.
Okay. But if a new thing happens again, can you try again?
Maybe different issue.
Different issue. Okay.
But obviously on that first issue, they're not like willing to,
Yeah.
depending on the severity, it might mean everyone just kind of steps away. They kind of lets that person go, right?
Yeah.
If it affects the whole community.
Yeah. I think that also influence a bit in our culture, that if a senior, we do have a different opinion towards it, the same thing. We also try to maybe give suggestion, but we do pause after some time. And some Westerners would think, no, everyone is equal, we should fight till the end. But somehow that's our politeness that we do, and as a way to respect, because we don't want to harm the relationship or become an insult. So we do try, but not like in Western, people would think different age group, everyone is the same individual and everyone's equal, and that kind of culture is a little bit different. Yeah. Okay. I think time is up, and I think we will pause it for this week, and we will continue in the next class. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so
Thank you.